little bit different, mainly to say a thank you to a logo you've probably seen a lot, Sniff pistols. And for the last 10 years, he has done a toy and supply drive for animals in the Las Vegas area.
And it wouldn't be possible without our generous hosts who are also our sponsors. You can find our donation drums here below. Ryan's calling us. Let's put him on live. You're on.
So you mentioned when you did research and like how you developed your recipes. How did you do that? Because I noticed Jake has always been really particular. And the first time he saw yours, I think it was the like beef and
Beats Not by Dre. So that's a beef one. I took a lot of pride in how I constructed it to where I'm offering something that like, this is all love. That like is coming from my heart. It isn't like any other component other than, you know, dry ingredients, which, you know, flour, and then the wet ingredients, which would be juice, or when you bake, you need that emulsifier vegan option of it, which is like Bob's Red Milk makes a great egg replacement. When I started looking at things, you know, I have to research it, and firstly going off of the fact that like the data exists. Is everything we read true? I make a human grade dog treat. I eat every version of it. I eat shelf life ones where I'm like past its peak or point, and a dog's gonna, you know, find that right away with their nose.
What made you think about that in the first place? A treat should be a treat. I love that.
Because I just started to think about a lot of the health that dogs are subjected to in harmful ways. 80s, I was always like, dogs weren't really going to the vet so much. They weren't subjected to too much stuff unless they started eating table scraps. And say dog's health, I'm like, how I arrived at that point was really just trying to offer a dog treat that doesn't shave any years off a dog's life. And I do mean years. You know, it seems so simplistic, but it's like, why are they throwing all this shit in there? A dog doesn't need artificials or preservatives. If you dangle something in front of a dog, they like it, they'll eat it. If they don't like it, they don't eat it. And that can go both directions, whether it's healthy or unhealthy. And we don't know, like, how a dog eats that, and they're probably like, fuck, I shouldn't have ate that.
Like me after Taco Bell. Like, why did I do that to myself?
The end game and goal is to just cut it out, rule it out.
But it's interesting to hear someone who actually does the research. And there is a lot of research that shows that just dogs are passing away a lot earlier than they normally would. Dog foods, like you said, it's all processed crap. You have to read 5-6 ingredients down until you actually get to chicken.
Food.
Or, food, exactly. Anything that...
Keeping it simple. I'll bring it back to the human grade thing where one of my very first events, the late Tony Shea was like, oh, what's this? Oh, we're a dog treat company. He's like, oh, really? Picks it up and fucking eats it. Like, holy shit, this dude gets it. And it's like there's all these people that will try it first, like, because this is their baby. You're putting the milk on your fucking pulse before you put that, you know, that nipple in a kid's mouth, right?
Yeah, my mom does that with all of her dog's treats.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give anything to a dog that I won't fucking eat. Or if it's edible. You know, everything's edible. We could eat anything. But then now you're eating something that's like, well, what happens after you eat it? Like, our body's going to digest a shitload of things and maybe hold on to some. And that's why I feel like that's where these dogs are getting sick, just like us, because they're introduced to ingredients that aren't fucking natural. Like, they wouldn't, you know, be on a little hike and be like, oh, I want this, you know, preservative over here, this artificial dye.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, oh shit, there's some red dye, let me go fucking laugh that up. It's such a fucking bummer. And I had lost the last dog that was, you know, considered mine, that I loved. We were inseparable. You know, it was like my ex-wife's dog. To think of a dog having a tumor and in their stomach, you know, you might have to make a decision, as it happens to us humans. You know, you'd like the whole pain management or quality of life. We don't see a lot of these things until a dog's acting out of character. That all could be avoidable. It really could. And when they don't have a voice or they don't have fucking skin in the game, it's like they're always gonna eat something that someone hands to them. When I think about it, it's so fucking unfair. That's like it's weird to think of giving any animal something that's harmful. It's just a weird fucking thought process. I'm like, whoa. You know, we can't sit there and be like the dog police or whatever. Everything should promote health. They deserve the very best, such as all animals, plants, trees, or, you know, Mother Nature. Listen, if we all started to really care about Mother Earth or the Earth or this planet,
you know, the thing we live on,
it would have a huge effect and, you know, impact on how we treat each other. You take care of Mother Earth, and she's going to take care of you back. What is the animals to us? You know, they're our companions, our greatest companions. Beautiful to see all variations of animals, and you know, it just kind of invokes like a bit of happiness when you're like, you know, you guys got all stoked in Sedona when you saw some deers, right?
An elk, yeah.
And I think it was like a live photo that you sent. You know, I always try to listen to the audio because I'm like, there's some, you know, but I think you guys were tripping out because the deer's heads, they looked like they were conjoined, right? Like they looked. And at the same time, I'm like, well, they're making it fucking hard is what they're doing. You can't write that. Everything about it was, say, beautiful. It only, you know, promoted good feeling and thought. And that's how I feel about Mother Nature.
Well, it's like you said, I think the whole world nowadays could use a little bit more good thought and intention.
Easily, and that's like the content that should really kind of be like, we have these tools, right? Like, you guys are doing a really amazing thing, a cool thing. You know, there's, say, the vehicle right there.
Talk to us about how your 10th drive is going.
I mean, it's a lot of work. It's worth the reward. You know, I when I started this, I went into it thinking, like, even if I got 10 toys, that's 10 happy dogs, right? It's better than 0, right? That's easy math right there. But it tends to be kind of a grab bag or too early to tell because I'm not on location unless I'm going by all these donation locations and looking in the bin, and it could be very well empty, or who knows. I mean, my sister reported good news yesterday that the Barkery Happy, they've already filled one barrel. You know, they're ready for an empty one.
We're also 2 sakis into this like Jello sake, by the way.
Oh yeah, we didn't do the first one right.
And then we shook the second one. I was like, man, I would have thought, don't shake it because it'll explode. And guess what? It exploded.
Yeah.
So we've got like one more can of that in the little juice box to go. So we're just working through stuff. What's your familiarity with sake?
Other than studying it in Japan and being a sommelier and then in an upscale fine dining, I fell in love with it, and I just needed to know everything about it. And I started reading everything in English print, everything, all content. And then I ran out of content. Got turned on to a course that was in Japan. Now, this is all passion driven. It's all based off of that. So that's my relationship with it. So I started that little journey probably in 2004.
Yeah, so it's not like it would be accessible information at that point.
And so my very first sake book was written by the late Rocky Aoki, which is Stevie Aoki's dad. And he's the guy that started Benihana, huge entrepreneur, adrenaline junkie, and he wrote this book that kind of introduced the basics, and I really respected him because I always thought Benihana was pretty fucking cool. This guy took a risk, and his risk was worth the reward.
When's the drive go till?
The 21st. I've ramped up my awareness, knowing that like if everybody knew, it'd be self-sufficient. You kind of have to use the vehicles of social media, which is very, at times, draining. You know, you always want to acknowledge what everybody's doing, also to be acknowledged. That it sometimes becomes an oversight when someone acknowledges what you're doing or spreads the good word, right? The awareness of things. I mean, to answer your question, like, it's definitely got more momentum. We'll see what the outcome is because, you know, we're constantly understanding what the economy is right now. And that might produce those results where people might be a little more, you know, stay resilient to purchase something, or I might see like an influx of a lot of used stuff, and that's still a great donation. I'm one of those repurpose, upcycle fans, and I've seen used things come to the drive because they don't go to waste. Currently, the bigger shelters such as NSPCA and Animal Foundation, they're in need of blankets and linen, you know, for these dogs. Like, they go through it. This is the time for people to get the jump on spring cleaning and donate the blankets, the towels, the linens. These dogs are going to use them, and the cats too. All animals will use it, especially around this time for warmth, not just a liner to, say, a kennel.
Still gets cold in the desert.
You know, and if you go in some of these places, these dogs aren't sleeping on carpet. That's not realistic. Like a concrete slab and possibly have a dog bed. Point being is that little slab of concrete is cold.
Well, any final send-off words?
There's so many things that come to my head and my mind at times, but take care of these animals. They take care of us. That's the least we could do.
Thank you so much.
Ryan, thank you, man. We love you.
No, likewise. Thank you. I mean, you get the juices flowing, you know, and stimulate what's going on upstairs. And your support means so much to me. You have no idea. It really feels good.
Well,
Right back at you,
Thank
buddy.
you.
it's a pleasure to do, so thank you.